An absent WWE star is returning for WrestleMania Backlash. Future plans for a Raw Championship have been revealed, and we've got an update on Bret Hart potentially joining AEW. All that in a bit. So we're kicking things off by talking about an absent star who's set to be returning for WrestleMania Backlash.
We are. It's exciting. Someone's coming back, and it's someone we covered on the news this morning.
How eventful.
We've got an update. It's fantastic. Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio makes sense, although a lot of people kind of, obviously with the stem cell thing going on right now, it's a little bit up in the air in people's heads, but apparently, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, while discussing possible WrestleMania Backlash matches, Dave Meltzer wrote that Veer Mahaan versus Rey Mysterio was a match listed already internally. Rey has been away getting stem cell treatment, as we've talked about, but is expected to be back on TV soon to further the storyline feud with Mahaan. It makes sense, right up until Rey had to very quickly kind of shuffle off to go get his treatment. Veer had just obviously rocked up on the 5th of April, 4th of April.
Yeah, it was the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah, so
and he appears, he comes all over Rey, unloads on Dominic, and then they disappear. They're recovering. They had to take some time off from
R&R, those wily Mysterios.
Yeah. My God. I hope they're doing all right. I'm excited to see this match because we've not seen Veer really tested yet.
Yeah, this is it. And, the stem cell treatment so far, I seem to remember a few legend wrestlers in shoots talking about their experiences with it and how it kind of revolutionized everything they were going through and kind of just eliminated it. So fingers crossed it does the same for Rey too.
I mean, we said this morning that it's taken 20 years off of him.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You see the difference. And I'm sure he can get a great match out of Veer. Well, I say great. He'll get a match out of Veer Mahaan.
I don't know.
Sure
Come on, it's Veer. Veer's going to explode
he's
all over him.
Explode. It's going to be fantastic. Stupendous.
From WrestleMania Backlash, we move on over to the Red brand. So apparently there's a few plans in place for the Raw Women's title. It does feel a little bit up in the air, but they seem to know where they're going with it. Apparently, regarding the women's title scene on Raw, Sonya Deville is apparently feuding with Bianca Belair because WWE doesn't want to rush into a rematch with Becky Lynch.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to just blow through all their matches.
No, of course
Make it
not.
a trilogy, stretch it out. But it's great to see Sonya getting some. Yeah,
Sonya's somebody who I feel deserves more and more exposure as it goes on. Especially when she transitioned at the backstage role, it was a bit like, oh really? But she's made the most of it and kind of revolutionized the character. And now there's a whole new
interesting.
Yeah,
it really makes her more interesting. I've been enjoying what she's been doing with Bianca, and it's it is fresh. It's a new take on there's the authority figure storyline, but her and Bianca have got good chemistry together. So I'm glad she's getting a chance while Becky just takes some time to be a mum.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it as well. There's a lot of factors in play here, but Becky is a new mum, so that's probably one of the driving forces here as well. But there was also speculation regarding this because Deville's challenge was moved to Raw rather than being on WrestleMania Backlash. Apparently, this could be so that Rhea Ripley could be entering a program with Bianca Belair soon, which Rhea, newly, freshly heel, makes sense. Bianca, the most over babyface going.
Absolutely. It's definitely a matchup that I think fans have been wanting to see for a while because Rhea's been this badass face for quite a while now. Bianca's been at the top of her game.
Yeah, it wasn't quite like Roman Reigns-y levels for Rhea yet or anything, but I think just a new side to that character is going to be very intriguing.
She screams heel.
Yeah.
Like looking at her, she looks like someone that fans can get behind, but she's a heel. So this matchup, if it's true that Deville's match has been taken off Backlash and we're going to get a program with Rhea, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be a good match.
There'll definitely be some good matches that come of it, and I imagine some very good promo work as well.
My only worry for it is it's maybe a bit too soon for a new heel Rhea to lose, and it's too soon for Bianca to lose that belt.
So it's we might need to kind of space that out a little bit more, but I guess we'll see as things develop. But moving on over to the other side of the fence, and oh my God, I take a few days off. I stay off social media. I come back, and AEW and New Japan are all buddy and in bed and are doing their show, which had been reported on, and I don't think anybody
we
was
mentioned
really
it last
surprised,
Saturday. We were like, oh, this it looks like it's going going to be a super show, and we were getting very excited. And guess what? It's here.
It is.
It's happening.
It is. But apparently the card isn't set in stone. So Meltzer reporting that unlike the New Japan Ring of Honor show in MSG, where both companies kind of just booked their own matches and ran in the same venue at the same time, essentially AEW versus New Japan is going to be a little bit more interlinked. Apparently it's not locked in stone, and there could be an AEW versus AEW or New Japan versus New Japan matches on the card, or tag matches with wrestlers from both companies, but it'll be something that's evolving right up until the week of, I imagine.
Yeah, constantly. It'll be really interesting to see how everyone is booked, whether we'll have it sort of be like exchange a win for a win and back and forth.
There's going to be a hell of a lot of reading into the card, isn't there? Like, oh, well, he didn't lose there, maybe. Oh, okay.
I think there's a few stars that will be a bit safer from that. We've got Mox working both companies, you know, and we've got, I imagine...
He wrestles twice, wins twice.
Exactly. He's on both sides of the fence. He's in a tag match, New Japan and AEW. He's playing both sides like Cody Rhodes back at Night of Champions 2007. There's a niche one. But there's so many dream matches that can come from this now that we've got, I don't want to say official confirmation, but like heavily hinted at that it's going to be pitting the two companies against each other rather than working side by side.
Which I think is what everybody wants to see, really.
Yeah, I mean, we said this morning on the news that Kenta has teased a match with Punk. Yes, please. Yes, please.
We've already got, even before we get there, we've got Tomohiro Ishii versus Adam Cole. We got Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston. We got, oh my God.
There's so many matches. I mean, we said it last week that'll spring to mind. And if you listen to the podcast tonight when it goes up, we've got the big question: what matches do you want to see at the Forbidden Door show? It's going to be so good. We're going to be like Veer Mahan over here. Just
there's so many potential dream matches, though. Have you got any in particular you're excited for?
I really want to see Danielson Okada. Yeah, like that. Just it screams like a match that Danielson would have wanted. Yeah, as soon as he left, and he's not had it yet. So that, and especially if Omega's not healed in time.
Well, this is the thing: is I really hope Kenny's able to be there in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, wrestling would be what everybody wants, but he's got to wait until he's good to go. But for me, Shibata Danielson. Even if it's contested under some form of, grappling rules and it's not a full-blown match, I don't think there's two better talents for it. And I think that, I want to see Shibata Danielson. As wild as that sounds, in 2022 with the complications both men have had, safely, but I want to see it. I want to see it real
following
bad.
Their previous match, Ospreay Moxley would be follow that up with a sequel, or even Ospreay Pac.
Yeah, because that stomp cell. Can we just talk about that stomp cell? Just, oh my God.
Yeah. And there's good cause. They kicked out.
Yeah.
They kicked out, but the match ended. So give us that match, please.
And we're wrapping things up today. Well, sticking with AEW, basically. But it's about Bret Hart and Bret Hart's potential involvement in the company. Obviously, FTR have been back and forth teasing things a lot quite recently. But Meltzer has written that Bret Hart will be in FTR's corner for a match at the Big Time Wrestling promotion on the 10th of June in Webster, Massachusetts. The reason is that it's an indie show and not AEW. Sorry, the reason it's on an indie show and not AEW is that it's one of those in AEW that are Dave's writing there is that those in AEW are of the belief that Hart quietly signed a lucrative WWE deal that would ban him from appearing on AEW shows, but he's allowed to do indie shows, so that loophole allowed it to happen. This also means that they believe he can be part of the Owen Hart tournament presentation, and Hart said he was never asked anything about being at the Owen Hart tournament presentation.
It's a real shame that he might not be involved in it because of a contractual obligation. I hope this means that maybe Ring of Honor give him just do that loophole. It's not AEW.
It's indie. I think there's many things there in the Owen Hart tournament presentation. I think everybody would love to see Bret there, but circumstances may not allow that to happen. But if there is a loophole that allows Bret and FTR to be kind of linked, because it's not entirely surprising WWE went straight for Bret with money by the sounds of it, because Double or Nothing, right?
Yeah, and
came straight out. And it was like, Bret's here.
It was Bret Hart with a belt, and he's the first. He's the first person to hold that belt out. Him and Jack Whitehall.
Yeah,
and that was
and he didn't even lose it.
Yeah. So it's really nice to have, because Dax Harwood is like the biggest Bret Hart fan, and it's a shame we won't see it on TV. But if it means that one of them going to win the Owen Hart tournament, and then you get the informal sort of passing of the torch.
Well, this is it. Can they use footage from independent promotions that features Bret? I guess only time's going to tell.
That's an interesting thought.
Because there's a lot of loopholes in stuff like this.
Yeah, as long as they credit it.
Yeah, maybe.
And I mean, we've seen Jericho appear on the network.
Yeah, well, Vince showed up at Indy once.
Yeah, Tony, just ask him if he can make a reappearance. Go on, do it for us, please.
Vince would have him crawling on his hands and knees all the way up those floors. But yeah, that's it for your daily wrestling news. I've been Sam. This has been Fraser.
Thanks, Sam.
And yeah, catch you in a bit.
See you soon.